Joseph Stalin, a name that evokes fear, power, and a brutal legacy. He was one of the most influential and ruthless leaders of the 20th century, from his rise to power in the Soviet Union to his iron-fisted rule that reshaped world history. Stalin's story is one of ambition, terror, and control. This is the entire history of Joseph Stalin. Joseph Stalin was born as Ioseb Vissarionis Dzhugashvili on December 18, 1878, in the small town of Gori, Georgia, which was then part of the Russian Empire. His father was a cobbler and his mother was a laundress. His childhood was harsh. His father was an abusive alcoholic, and young Stalin suffered from smallpox, which left his face scarred for life. Despite his tough upbringing, Stalin's mother wanted him to become a priest. At 16, he was sent to the Tiflis Theological Seminary, but instead of following a religious path, he became drawn to revolutionary ideas. He started reading the works of Karl Marx and Vladimir Lenin, which led him to abandon religion altogether and embrace communism. In 1899, he was expelled from the seminary for spreading Marxist propaganda. Stalin became involved in underground revolutionary activities. He joined the Bolsheviks, a radical wing of the Russian Social Democratic Labour Party led by Vladimir Lenin. He participated in bank robberies, strikes and protests to fund the party's activities. He was arrested multiple times and exiled to Siberia, but he always managed to escape. His ruthless tactics and loyalty to Lenin helped him rise through the ranks of the Bolshevik party. He adopted the name Stalin, meaning man of steel, to reflect his hardened personality. In 1917, the Russian Revolution overthrew the monarchy, and the Bolsheviks seized power under Lenin's leadership. Stalin played a key role in consolidating communist rule. He was appointed Commissar for Nationalities and later became General Secretary of the Communist Party in 1922. When Lenin died in 1924, a power struggle erupted between Stalin and his rival, Leon Trotsky. Stalin used manipulation, political alliances and propaganda to outmaneuver Trotsky, who was eventually exiled and later assassinated in 1940. By the late 1920s, Stalin had absolute control over the Soviet Union. Once in power, Stalin launched a brutal campaign to eliminate anyone he saw as a threat. From 1936 to 1938, he orchestrated the Great Purge, also known as the Great Terror. Millions of people were arrested, executed, or sent to labour camps known as gulags. Even high-ranking members of the Communist Party were not safe. Many were accused of treason and sentenced to death in show trials. This period saw widespread fear, with people afraid to speak against the government. The Soviet secret police, the NKVD, carried out mass executions, and neighbours spied on each other to prove their loyalty to Stalin. Stalin aimed to transform the Soviet Union into a global superpower. He introduced the 5-year plans, a series of economic programs focused on rapid industrialization and collectivization of agriculture. While the Soviet Union made significant advancements in industry, the agricultural policies were disastrous. Millions of peasants were forced to give up their land and join collective farms. Those who resisted were labelled kulaks and either executed or sent to labour camps. The forced collectivization led to a man-made famine in Ukraine known as the Holodomor, where millions starved to death between 1932 and 1933. In 1939, Stalin shocked the world by signing the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact with Nazi Germany, a non-aggression treaty that secretly divided Eastern Europe between the two powers. However, in 1941, Hitler betrayed Stalin and launched Operation Barbarossa, the largest invasion in history. The Soviet Union suffered massive losses initially, but Stalin's leadership played a crucial role in turning the tide. He commanded the Red Army in the Battle of Stalingrad, a turning point in the war that saw a devastating defeat for the Nazis. By 1945, Soviet forces captured Berlin, marking the fall of Nazi Germany. After World War II, Stalin expanded Soviet influence across Eastern Europe, installing communist governments in countries like Poland, East Germany, and Czechoslovakia. This led to rising tensions with the United States and its allies, marking the beginning of the Cold War. Stalin's policies isolated the Soviet Union from the West. He implemented strict censorship, increased surveillance, and crushed any opposition. The Soviet Union built nuclear weapons, leading to an arms race with the United States. In his later years, Stalin grew increasingly paranoid. He suspected even his closest allies of plotting against him. In 1953, he launched the Doctors' Plot, accusing Jewish doctors of conspiring to assassinate Soviet leaders. However, before the purge could escalate, Stalin suffered a stroke on March 1st, 1953. For hours, his guards were too afraid to enter his room, fearing punishment if they disturbed him. By the time doctors arrived, it was too late. Stalin died on March 5th, 1953. Stalin's rule left a complex and controversial legacy. On one hand, he industrialized the Soviet Union, turned it into a global superpower, and played a crucial role in defeating Nazi Germany. On the other hand, his leadership was marked by mass purges, famine, and repression that led to the deaths of millions. After his death, his successor Nikita Khrushchev denounced Stalin's cult of personality and exposed his crimes in the secret speech of 1956. This led to a period of destalinization, where his statues were removed, political prisoners were released, and policies were reformed. Joseph Stalin remains one of history's most controversial figures. Some view him as a strong leader who built a powerful nation, while others see him as a ruthless dictator responsible for immense suffering. His influence on the Soviet Union and the world continues to be studied and debated. What do you think of Stalin's legacy? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more history content. Thanks for watching.